Okay, seeing no other amendment or need to remove bills from the consent, we're going to move back to privileges of the floor. Senator Stern, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise today to adjourn in memory of a great servant to the state of California. I'll scratch that and we'll move to the item at the end for the adjournment in memory. I have another important set of remarks, though, and in fact, a resolution to a lifetime of service for another great servant to California, the chief consultant of the Senate Water Committee. His name is Dennis O'Connor. He's been serving in the Senate for more than 41 years. I am less than 41 years old, let's just put it that way. And the institutional knowledge that accumulates over a lifetime, literally a lifetime of service, has carried this Senate through critical moments in history, in our water history, which we know is often a place for fighting, and that politics defy logic sometimes. But Dennis has managed to steer us through these choppy waters, if you will, with a plumb and a sense of levity, but also a deep knowledge that gets us through every crisis somehow. He began his career in actually the Department of Finance, and he had worked at different points at Department of Transportation. Actually was an assistant director at the California Research Bureau, and then came up as the first Senate Agriculture and Water Resources Committee chief to Mike Machado back in the day. As the committees evolved, Dennis's career evolved, and he's now become the chief consultant of the Senate Natural Resources and Water, where his thoroughness and preparation, his accessibility to legislators, staff, and the public, his willingness to serve became a sort of brand, an understanding of merit over privilege in the Senate that still will carry on beyond his legacy. He wrote bills like the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, which still is the centerpiece of our water strategy to get through these droughts in this state. Water bonds, dam safety, the 2009 water package, historic Senate investments in this arena, transparency to water well locations, as well as ongoing governance on making water conservation a way of life. Over these 2 decades, he shared his expertise, but he also shared his quirks. He didn't deny us all knowledge of his semi-annual haircut, which he has since foregone in his later, wiser years. It's now become a ponytail, but if you follow him to the back corners of his office, especially in the old days, you could listen to maybe some acid jazz playing over the speakers, and perhaps you didn't know quite what was going on back there, but you don't interrupt the master at work, I suppose. And I learned that very early as a staffer. But he would always give you that time, and he had his own way of getting about things. He's, little do many people know, also a master craftsman of various beers, meads, sort of home brewing scientist, if you will, and always brought that jovial attitude underneath his tough and skeptical exterior. It was always there. So the Senate is going to dearly miss Dennis, and we don't have many people left like him who can actually see back in time, but actually navigate us nimbly to the future. So we'll miss him, but we know that Valerie and his family will appreciate him, and we hope you had a little more acid jazz in the daytime in your house and enjoyed the brew, but just be sure to share it with us going forward. We're not going to let Dennis leave the Senate fully ever. His mind is the state of California. It's because of the work he's put in. So there will be a retirement celebration after session next Wednesday evening. If anyone wants to show up, I have a prediction that the snacks will be good. But with that, I know we do have a resolution and maybe a few other past chairs and members who want to speak. But Dennis O'Connor, thank you for serving the state of California. We will not be able to replace you.
Senator Hertzberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to join with my colleague from the San Fernando Valley in recognizing Dennis. I, too, had the opportunity to serve as chair of the committee, and water is an issue that has informed my imagination and interests most of my life. It's one of those things when you're somebody from Southern California, most people just turn on the tap and expect water to come out, and there's no issue. Water is an issue that is often informed by the interest informed by folks in the agricultural community or the like. And I found a soulmate in Mr. O'Connor. He is extraordinary. His interest, his depth of understanding, his willingness to lead. Even to this day, this morning on my email, I have one of those water emails from him that he goes and captures all the articles throughout the state of California to keep me informed of what's happening in the state. And particularly now, as all of us in all corners of the state are facing climate change and drought and all the challenges that impact the water policy. It was, as the current chairman indicates, it was he who sat down with my chief of staff and worked on the measure of water as the conservation of life. It was he who sat in hearing after hearing on these important issues. Bill Craven had the job before him, another unbelievable giant. And the only thing that makes me sad about this is that these are not the people whose names are on the bills. These are not the people whose names are on the front page of the newspaper. But these are the people whose imagination, whose creativity, whose hard work informs the extraordinary public policy that we celebrate as Californians. And I just want to give them a great send-off. And I still have a cell phone number, and I'll be calling. We love you.
Senator Laird.
Thank you very much, Madam President. There was a night when I drove up to an intersection in Sacramento and I pulled up next to a Volkswagen van and the license plate said H2O Wonk. And I thought, who is this? It is our retiree right now. He has that license plate and was just said he has a daily clipping service for those of us that are members of the committee on all water clips that are across the state that we all live for to find. And he's in a rare position, as the chair mentioned, where most retiring staff members decide whether to grow a ponytail when they retire. We're all anxiously awaiting to see if he cuts his off. And the real thing is that the Senate has a long tradition of having staff members that go long-term and just have the depth of knowledge that as we change, that knowledge survives. And Dennis has been part of that for a very long time, and it was elucidated, has made a difference on every long-term thing, particularly with regard to water, that has come through the legislature in the last few decades. He will be sorely missed. I wish him well in his retirement, and I would not doubt that many of us will still get an email basically saying, why are you doing this? Or have you thought of this? No matter how he thinks he's going to walk away, I think we'll still get a few of those, but his retirement is richly deserved.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I also wanted to rise as Vice Chair of Senate Natural Resources and Water and recognize Mr. O'Connor for the great service that he has given our state. And as a Republican member of the Natural Resources Committee, recognize that I actually found I agreed with him a lot more than we disagreed and on policy. And I think that just goes to show that he has a professional attitude, a realistic attitude, and really has a care for the state and wants to do what's best for the state. My staff certainly has enjoyed working with him and speaks very highly of him, which is really the highest compliment you can get is from other staff members in the building on the other side of the aisle that respect you and honor you and thank you for your work here and the great service that you've given us all. So thank you very much. Good luck in your retirement. And as the other members have expressed, I hope that we will continue to hear from you because you do have lots of wisdom to still share with the state. So thank you very much.
Senator McGuire.
Thank you so much, Madam President. just want to say a few words about going above and beyond. The Senate is filled with staff who go above and beyond for the people of California. And that could never be truer during this global pandemic. And Dennis has been an unsung hero among staff, especially within the Secretary of the Senate's office, preparing this body to continue to do the people's business in the worst pandemic that we've seen in over a century. Dennis was instrumental in getting each of the committees up and running, to be able to get session up and running. For the first time in state history, testing all the remote equipment to ensure the job that we do each and every day can be done smoothly, efficiently, and effectively for the people of this state. And we owe him a debt of gratitude. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Senators, if there are no further accolades, please join us in congratulating and showing honor to Dennis O'Connor. As you can see from the sustained applause, we're going to miss you, and we're really thankful for your many, many years of service. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for all your years of service.